All right, everybody, on Top 5 tonight, we got a great one. We're doing the top 5 most famous people of all time.
Welcome to Top 5 with Joey Cassata. Starring Joey Cassata.
Team Jesus, my friend.
No! Am I walking around park?
Co-starring Ernie Palooza. And the Doctor, Tommy Snyder.
Goddamn.
Now here's your host, Joey Cassata.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Top 5. I'm your host, Joey Cassata.
And I'm the entertainer, and I know just where I stand. Another podcast with Tommy and Billy, and another creepy old man.
Oh, nice.
Whoa,
Very nice.
I'm living there. Oh, look at that.
He carried a tune there. He's got the lyrics. There was no way you weren't reading those lyrics. Where are they written, Ernie? Show us the screen.
I am totally unprepared. I got nothing here.
Whoa. I think last time you did this, you were better. I liked it.
Well, this is gonna maybe do something.
Oh,
what is that?
Oh, show that. Hold on.
Is that real?
Second.
The power. That's the big stuff.
Oh, that's Carmine's favorite beer.
Is Carmine there?
Carmine's favorite.
Billy, when we went there last week, I showed up with a case of that. He almost threw me out.
Yeah, he told me, and I was trying to find, but it was too expensive. I was going to send a case to his house.
And of course, we got the band back together, baby. Out of hiding, back from the graveyard, or he likes to call the bar. We got the Doctor, the Monster.
What's up, everyone?
And back with us again now. Normally, we are calling this young man Big Head Billy, but his big head looks a little less big this week. What's going on over there?
Well, I've been on a bit of a not planned diet. It just naturally happens. And I've lost 27 pounds.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What kind of diet are we on here?
It's called heartbreak and hopelessness. It just sheds the pounds right off. You throw a little anxiety in there, and it just works wonders.
So things are not going good. So you're a little stressed. You're a little depressed. Not eating, or
If you want to help it along quick, it goes a little suicidal.
No, don't get to that point. Just lose some weight. You're good.
No, smart ones. That's the key. Smart ones. Two for $4 at the Met last week.
Very nice. I'm impressed.
So you're not you're not doing the old trick of riding the exercise bike while playing hockey with Manny Mexico.
No, that was the old Bill. The new Bill doesn't need to ride the bike. He just naturally flies off.
Just plays the game.
Plays the game.
Just sits and thinks about what went wrong.
What went wrong?
You're disgusting, Billy. We're not to make a joke out of it. We're joking, of course. Yes. You look marvelous. Your glasses look a little too big for your head now. You got to get resized.
You got to get smaller glasses.
It looks like De Niro in Casino.
Yeah. I need those giant ones.
So we haven't been on for a little while. We took a little hiatus. Ernie and I did a couple episodes. We haven't seen the Doctor. He's been MIA. Billy's obviously shedding the pounds. He's got that new diet that he's going to be putting on sale soon enough. Just the depression diet. Billy's going to call you up, tell you his life story, and the pounds will be just shedding off. But welcome. It's terrible. Before we get into it, of course, we got to play the always fun. I got to get into it. Doctor, what are you drinking tonight?
Guys, you know me. I stopped the drinking on this show. Monkey Shoulder.
Oh, I love the Monkey Shoulder. I know that.
I have no clue what that is.
It's bourbon, right, Doc?
Scotch whiskey.
Scotch or bourbon?
Scotch whiskey.
Oh,
They're all the
really?
same. It depends on how they're made and what part of the country they're made in.
My old show, The Great Comet, was sponsored by Monkey Shoulder. We used to get Monkey
Oh,
Shoulder
no
all the
shit.
time. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that is fucking awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. Loved it. I never had it before. Haven't had it since either, but I love it. We
Did you
got
mention you mentioned your show? I was laughing. Steve came on your. I went on your Facebook page and you had an old ZO2 playing with D. Snyder. And
Yes.
everyone's commenting on it. Steve Carasota's comments. I didn't know you were playing in Manhattan.
I saw him last week. He goes, "You played the city
I'm
last
like-
week?" I'm like, "No, idiot."
Yeah, I'm like your bassist that Dave who passed away. Like he all of a sudden reappeared on stage. I'm like,
Steve is a little slow.
I was like, what's wrong with you?
He's Greek. We we let things slide.
I can't believe you're playing in the city tonight.
He told me when he saw me. He's like, "Oh, you played it the other night. I didn't even know." I said, "No, Steve, that was an old clip." God. But I see Ernie drinking up there. Ernie, what do you got? The hard stuff?
Powerful Michelob Ultra.
Whoa,
Nice.
that's big stuff for you.
Oh,
It's a work night, you know.
You are going to be all right after that?
Gonna bring out the TV like when I'm in elementary school. When it's-
Put a video on.
Medium head Billy, what do you got down there?
I'm just drinking Coke Zero. So I got a little story quick. I went to the Amazon store, those cheap bastards, and they have a soda fountain machine, $1.29. Used to be able to get any size soda you want. They've gotten rid of the large cups. Can you believe that?
Why?
You gotten rid of the large, and they tweaked the formula. You get more seltzer. It tastes like shit. So Amazon, if you listen to me, you better put more syrup and get the big cups back. Thanks. That's all I gotta say.
they're like, Billy, if you listen to me, grow your head big again. We'll give you the big cups.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
You
the
hear
problem.
this, everyone? Do you hear this guy? This is obviously a man in pure anguish. He's
Oh, yeah,
complaining
I'm-
about the Amazon cups. I mean, this is not a good thing.
I'm yelling like George Costanza at everything. Just everything.
I'm kind of happy with him. He's not losing focus. Billy's been like this his whole life.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm just
He's gone
I'm
after
just
Jolly
going.
Rancher. He's
Right.
gone after Coca-Cola. There ain't a company out there he hasn't attacked.
And now he's gonna fight Amazon.
Billy,
That's
talk
it.
directly to the camera because I know Jeff Bezos does watch the show.
That's right. Jeff,
Big fan, big
Amazon
fan.
store in Rockefeller Center. Bring back the big cups, pal.
help the guy out. And
Help
help
the guy out.
the boy out farther. Come on.
That's right. Come on.
Billy is completely given up. He's wearing sweatpants all day long, eating giant blocks of cheese.
That's it. This is I have a slimming filter on. I'm actually 500 pounds.
So what I got tonight, this is a little drink that the doctor introduced me to many years ago. So we used to be,
Rattlesnake Rosie?
what was no, not Rattlesnake Rosie. Good God, I'd be on the floor already. We used to go up to the doctor's house in Pennsylvania all the time for a little nightcap and hang out for the weekend. And one time I went and he had this delicious white wine that I never forgot and I could never fucking get again. I used to search the country. I used to literally, when I was on the road, I'd go into liquor stores. Hey, do you have this wine? And that is called Niagara. It is scrumptious. So good, but you can only get it in Pennsylvania, right, Doc?
No, upstate New York.
But Pennsylvania too. But upstate New York has it too?
Yeah, it's in a colder climate. It grows better. It's almost like it's along the lines of ice wine.
Right. Yeah, it's not like a Riesling, but it's a sweet summer wine. It's unbelievable. It's
They
great.
you have a Concord too that you used to like too.
Yes. But I
Ernie.
finally found the Niagara again, Doc, when I played that winery. Remember that you came to see me at
Yeah.
with Eric Martin? They had the Niagara, and they literally gave me a case. I'm like, oh, I got to buy a case from you. They just gave me a case, and I've been getting a case shipped or someone actually brings it to me, and every few months. Oh well, I'll be honest, every few weeks.
Wait a minute, you got to take this wine every few weeks for playing in the band?
Yes,
Playground is back.
we're back, baby. Speaking of playground, how you like this vintage Brooklyn Crazy Country Club shirt?
Are you serious?
And you can't read the writing under here, but it's warm beer. What the hell does it say again?
Lousy food.
Warm beer, lousy food, baby.
Guys, I'm gonna have to take a break.
Already, really.
My boss just texted me.
Babbles? No.
I have to see what he wants because he
I
told me
know
to
what
take
he
a picture
did.
of something.
Call him
He-
back on. Call him back on air. Come on.
He tapped into the feed, and he knows Tommy's on.
Well, we were just talking to him. We were talking about him a few minutes before we went live here, so he might really know we were talking about him.
That's
Call
it.
him on
He
air,
knows.
Doctor. Come on, let's get Babs on the show.
He wants me to take a picture of the sign on the boiler room door.
Take a picture of your ass and send it to him.
You know why? Because right behind Tommy
With
in
the
the
bead.
ceiling is a camera. And
You know,
Pavel's
somehow-
watching.
You know, somehow Monkey Shoulder's getting in there.
Yeah, take the door a picture of what he wants with the monkey shoulder in the back.
Yeah, you know Monkey Shoulder's getting in there.
So, Ernie, before we get to the topic and the rules and stuff, you had read a great article this week about chess. Big controversy in the chess world. That's your community, if I'm right, Ernie, right?
That is correct.
So, what was going on?
Well, there was a big chess tournament, and the worst player beat the best player. And it became obvious that he cheated, but they could not figure out how he cheated because they do check everybody when they walk in. And,
Wait, how do you
and it
cheat at
turns
chess
out,
anyway?
You could do Morse code. If somebody's taking pictures, you could put it through the computer, and the
Okay,
computer will tell you
okay,
the best move to make.
gotcha.
And somebody was contacting him from the outside, but really not from the outside. Like,
From the inside.
from the inside.
You mean literally from the inside?
Yes.
What are we talking about here, Billy?
Well, there's been a few. They weren't really sure how it was being done, but there's one theory that the individual had anal beads that were controlled by a remote-controlled device, and they were buzzing his beads and trying to figure out how he would do the next move. Which we were discussing this in
I haven't
detail
had
amongst friends.
my beats buzzed in years.
Yeah, my bees haven't. My bees haven't buzzed either.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, I think my batteries are dead. But anyway, in this discussion, Greg Prosser brought up the good point that if that was his method, how did he know what to do when it buzzed? Like, how did he figure
Right,
out?
what did one
What
buzz
was-
mean? What did three buzzes
Yeah.
mean? Right.
Right.
And after a couple buzzes, you're even concentrating on chess anymore.
Like, what is the average? What is the average chess game? How many moves are there? Right, and his butt is buzzing like to move the next thing. It's like unbelievable. So big controversy. And I don't know. I guess I don't know how it was rectified, but
Oh,
I
right.
figured
Hold
it
on.
out.
Fine.
I gotta, Ernie. I gotta assume those buzzing beads might cause an asteroid after a while. Am I correct?
Why do you ask me like you think I would know?
Oh, you know all about the asteroids. Doctor does too. He had the S surgery, right?
Yep.
Never had surgery.
I just picture Doctor hanging. You ever see? Was it Easy Money? Is it
Easy Money.
When he's hanging in the
Yep.
in the hospital
Yeah,
room.
you get shot in the ass.
Yes. That's how I pictured you. As soon as you told me you had the S surgery, I said, "Oh, he's hanging from the crane
Well,
in the hospital bed."
Why is this anal beads? Why the speculation of anal beads? Like
because they
there could be
pretty much from them.
other things he could have shoved up his ass.
No, well, the video supposedly again. I didn't read the
Video?
article. Well, I'm
Did you
saying
say
I didn't.
Oh,
No, what the chess match was on video, like it was filmed, so they really couldn't figure out how he was doing it, and that's
Was
what they
it-
surmised.
well, from the video, what was it like when they were watching it? Was his face going like this every once in a while?
No, I don't. I don't
What was
I-
happening?
Goddamn.
Oh no,
know,
no.
He
I
looked
don't know
like
if anybody's got the tape.
Not-
Wait, he
not-
looked like Angus Young.
Knight to Rook 6.
I'm sure that's probably been the most scrutinized chess match ever. That people rewatching
Make
the videos
goddamn.
to figure this out.
There's
And,
gonna
and
be
the
a-
guy, so the one of the things that was interesting about it, he beat the number one player, but not in the finals. And then he quit. The guy quit the match. Like
Why?
after he won, he got out of the tournament.
He probably couldn't take any more buzzing.
No, that's right. He was out of control.
Oh,
All right, we are way
Well,
off the
wait,
rails.
We are
There's
way
no
off the
proof it
rails.
was in his ass.
What?
There's no proof anything was in his ass, though.
I don't know. Elon Musk even commented on it. You know what I mean? A lot of people, it's a big,
Oh, well, if he commented on the beat,
it's a big controversy. Well, if
gotta be.
anybody knows about remote stuff, it's him.
But how? Where do
You
they
know?
come up with the conclusion? Well, you know
I
what?
mean-
They must be in his ass.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe somebody heard something when he walked by and it was down low. I don't know. I really don't know what, you know.
Something fell out when he walked by.
I know Greg raised a great point. Like, I don't know if listen, it's not my thing, but I don't know how that would make me like, you know, buzz twice for this. Like, I don't even know what it would do. Like, it's a chess match.
They got a system. I used to have a
You know,
system.
yes.
I remember back
They
in
have it in the casinos. They have these systems.
when I used to
Yeah.
take my finals and I mean even religion. I know that's probably sacrilege. Me and my buddy used to have a tapping system. You know, 2 taps A or 1 tap A, 2 taps B, 3 taps C, whatever. You figure out a system.
Well, what happened, Joey? Your rosemary beads went off up your ass.
No, there's no buzzing rosary beads.
Not yet. Not yet.
It's gonna be a big boom in the chess community. I have a feeling.
That's it.
Everyone's gonna start playing chess all of a sudden.
There's a buzz in the air, baby.
They're gonna have a new version of Queen's Gambit, you know, soon coming out.
All right, let's
All right.
get to this topic. So we've been away. We got a great topic. So the header of this show is top 5 most famous people of all time. Now, we got some Ernie rules, and I'm going to go over them with you. So not just people. We can't be historical people. We're going with top 5 famous people of all time, meaning entertainers, musicians, artists, actors, TV shows, sports, performers. Top 5 famous performers of all time, if you want to subcategorize it, right? Everyone, I know, I mean, I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of arguing on, is that a performer? That's not a performer, so on and so forth. Am I wrong?
Well, you said entertainer, which would eliminate sports except for wrestling. But
No, but I said entertainers, but then in parentheses I said music, movies, sports, TV.
okay. All right.
I think I'm on Tommy's side with this one. By the word entertainer, I don't think a sports guy.
Yeah, I know you got to throw sports out.
Ernie can't think of any. He can't name 5 sports people in anyway.
Yes, he can. Rayho Roots of what's a lemon?
Ernie, name 3 people in sports history.
Fred Lynn.
Go ahead.
Come on. You can't say Burt Reynolds on Longest Yard. That doesn't count.
Clark Gillies.
This is unbelievable.
Go ahead. Let's hear number 3.
Zoltar.
I mean,
So
Where-
tart.
where do we go from there? All right, let's see where everyone's going. I'm so curious to see where people went. Obviously, we're doing all time, so that's living and dead. Living is way harder. Maybe we save that for another show. Living and dead, of course. So, Billy, we're going to start with you.
All right.
Number
so
5, most famous entertainer of all time.
So my favorite engineer was John Roeblings. He built the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's one of my favorite things. Just last year, I walked over it. I don't know if anybody's seen the Brooklyn Bridge, but it's beautiful. And it's really an experience. If you never walked over it, you should walk over it. I mean, it was built a long time ago.
Billy,
It's great. Oh,
I
that
gotta
is
go.
not your
I gotta
pick.
go.
oh, wait. Oh, entertainers.
I gotta run downstairs.
Where you going?
All right, someone left their phone in the building and they need their phone. This is ridiculous. All right,
Go ahead.
I'll-
Go. We're going to keep
All right.
continuing. Go. We'll wait for you.
And Bill, after that, now we're all depressed.
Come on, Billy. Number 5. What do you got?
You really? Oh, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're not waiting for him.
Ah.
Ah,
So, as you know, prior to this, we were talking. This is like a tough subject. You really go with who's considered the greatest entertainers or who you really like. My first one's going to be somebody that I really like. You know, a lot of his movies. I love watching all his movies. A lot of people are not a big fan of him, but this summer, a new version of
Oh, I know
Top
where
Gun
you're
came
going.
out,
Here we go.
and it was such a fun movie to watch. But my number 5 is Tom Cruise.
Yeah, listen, I can't. I'm not going to argue that. Again, we're talking famous. He doesn't have to be popular. He doesn't have to be well liked. Famous doesn't mean well liked. It just means well known, right?
Right.
So,
And
Hold
And-
on. Is that the governor of Texas?
no, that's Ted Cruz, and he's not a governor. I don't even think he's in Texas either.
wait, how the hell is Tommy laughing? Where is he?
Yeah, I don't even, is he in Texas?
That's what's smart.
I don't know if Ted Cruz is in Texas.
Maybe
But
he is in Texas.
Tom
But he's not a
Cruise-
governor. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, depending on if you're going to go any more actors, Tom Cruise has got to be one of the biggest actors definitely alive today, at the very least. Maybe not ever, but definitely alive today, right?
Top Gun, all the Mission Impossibles, just absolutely great to watch. I mean, I love all those movies. And
Well, we know from a previous episode that you
Yes.
picked Mission Impossible 17 as like your top 4 movie of all time.
it is one of the all-time movies. And Top Gun, I don't know if you guys got to see it. I went to see it over the summer, and it was fun. It was a fun movie, mindless fun. Being in the theater with the planes taking off. It's definitely a movie that you got to watch with a good speaker system, because the planes and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I just find him entertaining, and I love a lot of his movies. So I'm going with Tom Cruise.
I am totally on board with Tom Cruise. He's incredible. He's one of the best. But nobody's gonna say that. Nobody's gonna say that until he dies. Watch when he dies, though. One day.
Yeah, but that's unfortunately that's the case all the time. It's like you have to wait for someone to die to appreciate them. Look at fucking Eddie Van Halen. Look at Taylor Hawkins. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Taylor Hawkins, but he got more accolades than Eddie Van Halen when he died, which is I don't even understand it.
I think it's the circumstances and the relevance.
Yeah, I
Van
guess.
Halen hadn't been touring and at that time, and
I guess so. Just I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Taylor Hawkins is great, but it drives me crazy when big accolades are paid to someone and then other people are forgotten. Drives me nuts.
yeah.
Sometimes dying is a great career move.
Don't tell Billy that. What's wrong with you? He's
Yeah.
wasting away as it is. Look at him. Hold on, Billy, come here.
Billy, you got skinnier since we started.
Thinner. Oh, that's Billy trying to commit suicide off the building.
He floated down. He just floated gently down, came to a soft landing on the windshield of a car.
All right, we'll go back to the doctor in a few minutes. Bernie, number 5. What do you got?
All right, my number 5 is the Entenmann's coffee cake.
Ernie!
Yes. Ernie, what do you like about it?
Have you ever tasted? It's
This is
it's
not
so-
Seinfeld. You can't quote Seinfeld on this show. Stop it.
It's so rich.
Your ass is rich.
You know, I don't know what the word means when it comes to food. When what I'm allergic to, I don't know what the word rich.
No, you've never tasted anything rich.
Hey, you think?
I saw what came out of your body. There was nothing was rich.
Do you think? This just gave me it when you said that. You think now chess sets will come with anal beads?
Oh, they'd probably sell a lot more.
I gotta tell you, if you ever look at the shape of the bishop, you're already started. Actually,
What with my poor show? What are we
Oh,
doing?
this one off the rails before and
Oh,
Tommy
come on,
on the
Ernie.
roof.
Number
Tommy's on the
5,
roof.
most famous entertainer or person of all time.
I can't explain really so much about why, how incredible this guy is, but Springsteen in concert is
Yeah.
different than any other concert. There's something going on with the way he connects. So
I
putting him
totally
as a-
agree. Me and Ernie, I think was that our first concert ever? Ern?
I was a virgin before that. Yes.
Yeah. So Bruce Springsteen, we saw him at the Meadowlands Born in the USA tour, and guy plays for 4 hours. Every minute of the show is fun. People are into it. He just knows how to get the crowd into it. I'd say, yeah, he's definitely, and people will go see him now. Like, just from a longevity perspective, he announces he's going on tour, and everybody comes running out and want to see him.
I've never seen Springsteen live.
He's
Where'd you
definitely.
see him, Ernie?
I saw him. Where were we? Giant Stadium, was it?
Yeah, Giant Stadium, Meadowlands. Again, just a phenomenal show. First concert I ever go to. It's like 4 hours. He's singing. It's in the middle of the summer, and he's singing, that Christmas song. He's like playing that at the end of the show. Like, he's playing everything, covers everything, gets the crowd to sing along with his songs. All that fun stuff. Just a great time. We don't know where Tommy is. Tommy looks
Where
like
the
Tom
hell
Cruise.
is he right now? Hold on,
He
let me
looks
unmute
like
him.
he looks like he's Tom Cruise, like escaping from somewhere that Tom Cruise would be stuck in.
Doctor, I muted you. You got to unmute if you want to. He's definitely in like a mental institution right now. Look at him. He's escaping.
All right, hold on, make my way upstairs.
Where the hell is he right now? Look, you couldn't picture Nurse Ratched chasing him right now, Ernie?
Number nine.
I remember a time when I was the only one with glasses. Now we're practically all of them.
Ernie, I actually wore fake glasses at one point, just to look stylish like an idiot. Now God said, "I'll take care of you."
All right, Doctor, what you missed so far? So Billy said his number 5, Tom Cruise.
He'd pick that.
I don't remember what time we started.
We start
8:20.
7:30, so about 50 minutes in.
When
Right.
Tommy
I
leaves to
picked
go,
that
when
up.
Tommy leaves to go, you see him in the elevator thing, wherever he was.
No, but I got to do time code. It's easier.
What was the movie? What was your favorite movie with Tom
Yeah,
Cruise
that's what we were
again?
just talking about. He picked Mission Impossible 13 as one of his favorite movies.
Before it was up to 17.
Right. So how could you not have one of your favorite movies and have one of your actor of? Yeah, makes sense. All right,
Ernie's number 5 was Bruce Springsteen.
worldwide.
Listen, this is
Worldwide,
This is the
yes.
debate. What do you got, Doc? We're up to
Yeah.
you. Number 5.
This is Bruce Springsteen playing guitar.
Number 5.
What do you got?
I got the Hoff.
No, you can't pick. You can't pick politicians.
No,
Who
David
you got?
Hasselhoff.
Oh, I thought you meant.
You can't pick politicians.
I
What
thought you
got me
meant
confused.
Hoffa.
I'm like, wait a minute. Did
Wait
he
a
run
minute.
for office in Germany?
I thought you meant Hoffa.
I didn't. The Hoff.
David
Well,
Hasselhoff. Look at
you know,
this.
Not for nothing, from a worldwide perspective.
Yeah,
He is huge in Germany, from what I hear.
Yes.
And wasn't he
They,
on Broadway in the Phantom of the Opera or something like that?
No, well, I think he might have did a stint, but he was at one time. He's called the most watched man on television history.
Yeah.
At one point, he was on Baywatch. I think it was 1.5 billion viewers back then. At that time, people used to sit down and watch their TVs at that time.
What was
So
the
that's what
movie?
they call him.
The show with the car.
Knight Rider.
Knight
Knight Rider. Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
rubber
Yeah,
band.
so-
Yeah.
Oh, you need Iron Maiden for that song.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to argue that pick at all.
The phrase was coined. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? This phrase was coined after someone wondered what would happen if David Hasselhoff punched himself in the face. Not
We're getting to
fantastic.
Chuck Norris territory here.
Yeah, the end of the Chuck. Yeah, but it's amazing, man. He's
Yeah.
he's freaking awesome. And he got his claim to fame in Germany. I looked it up. When the falling of the Berlin Wall, he was up on one of those cranes, one of those boxes that, the cable companies use. And he sang Looking for Freedom, which was a song he wrote in Germany while they were breaking down the wall, and became a #1 hit. So he's forever, ever.
Please send me that clip if you have it. That'll be the intro.
I don't have the clip. I didn't see the clip.
One morning in June, some 20 years ago, I was born a rich man's son. I had everything that money could buy, but freedom I had none. I've been looking for freedom. I've been looking so long. I've been looking for freedom.
I can picture him on the Berlin Wall in his Baywatch Speedo singing.
That could have been #1 in America too if Pam Anderson would have been up there as well.
Yeah.
Yes, something tells me those 1.5 billion weren't watching David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That is true.
If you remember Knight Rider, the car kit had the Cyclones
Yeah.
from
Oh,
Battlestar
of
Galactica.
course.
Oh, great show.
Cylon, not the
Yeah, no
Cyclone.
cyclones.
The Cyclone.
Cyclops. Oh, that beer's really hitting him.
Oh boy.
Well, that first
know
beer
those
I had-
Cyclones?
You know that cyclone.
Oh God, Ernie,
Not
I'm
to
very
be
disappointed
Ernie.
in you on that.
The Cyclones.
Cyclones, not to be confused with
The
stormtroopers.
The Cyclones.
All right, my number 5. I'm going in the sports world for number 5. He's still alive today. Again, I think it's worldwide, even though obviously these are more going to be American based because obviously we live in America, right? So I got to go Michael Jordan. Is there a bigger sports figure alive today than Jordan? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Tiger's bigger. Who is alive today that's bigger than Jordan? And maybe there's a soccer player or two. I don't know them that well.
Pele, you go that route.
But Pele at one time, this generation doesn't know Pele at all, right?
No, who's the good-looking guy now?
Ronaldo, right? Someone?
Yeah, something like that.
No,
Ernie?
not you, Ernie.
Commercials.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, again, America-based, definitely, but worldwide too. Jordan is known everywhere.
I only know Space Jam.
With the first
I mean-
one or the one with LeBron?
Okay, like Mission Impossible. Look at him. He's like, which
Tom-
one?
Tom-
Space Jam
Tom Cruise was
13.
in the second one, wasn't he?
What is that? Tom
Tom
Cruise?
Cruise
No.
was in the second one, Space Jam.
Tom Cruise, besides how big he looks on the movie, he's very short. He couldn't play basketball.
No, but you got to
Tom
understand,
Cruise
Jordan
play on
too.
the airplane. He hit the
Jordan
best-
is
get the
not
best-
just obviously the greatest basketball player of all time. His shoe, he probably made more money in his shoe line, right? So just that
Yeah.
alone, the popularity of that. Obviously, he's an entertainer, but of course, sports and stuff. But shoe line, sports paraphernalia, jerseys, Nike. He made Nike what it is today. Nike, before Jordan was nothing. I mean, they started back then, but it was nothing.
It was a huge deal with him. I think there was some story. We were watching the documentary, but they were on the Olympic team and Reebok sponsored the Olympic team. So they had to wear the Reebok uniforms. And he said, I'm not wearing it.
Yeah.
And they said, you got to wear it. So he put like a towel over his shoulder so you couldn't see the Reebok sign when he came out because he was
Crazy.
just so pro
Yeah, of
Nike,
course,
right?
of course.
They wrote it, they made half his money,
All right, Billy, back around to you. Number 4.
These people could be dead. I'm allowed to pick dead people.
Yes.
All right. So this man was a, dual threat in his life.
Ooh.
And actually, I never really listened to him when I was younger, but Tommy's mom would drive us to see his grandmother a few times. We went to see your grandmother in New Jersey and stayed over. And I think it's the only thing you probably had in the car to listen to, but Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah, baby.
I mean, he not that I watched a lot of his movies, but he was in a lot of movies. And his catalog of music, what more can you say? It was actually pretty funny. We have an Apple Music, subscription. And my son Chris I'm like looking through his phone. He's got the best of Frank Sinatra on his phone, and we're in the car, and I throw it on, and my Russell too. We're all the three of us are sitting there singing, "Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly," and it was just funny how they knew all these songs, just from movies and different things.
That's exactly the stuff that I'm talking about. I think the artists, whether it's sports, movies, music, whatever it is, that cross generational gaps. Those are the ones that are the biggest.
The word I think you guys are looking for, because they mentioned I had Frank Sinatra on my list too, and it was like most influential person of the 20th century. He was listed as.
Yeah.
So influential, it says it all, right? In that, whether it be setting styles up on how you wear your clothes, how you wear your hair, and blah blah blah.
I wonder if kids like 20 years from now are going to name the guy who cheated at chess as the most influential because of his new the anal beads.
Well, that guy is on my list, by the way.
If you do see,
he should run with the anal bead thing.
Well, it could be if you see a Super Bowl ad.
Have his name on each bead, like.
Like if you want your family's name on a bead,
sponsor.
Yeah. You might see it on the Super Bowl.
Well, if you see a chess commercial on the Super Bowl, you know what they're really referring to.
Yeah, right.
He's the Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan of anal beads.
Saturday Night Live starts up again.
They got to use that.
If they don't play chess now, all you're going to hear is. That's what you're going to hear.
Playing chess is going to sound like playing Operation.
That's what it's going to turn out to be. Funny bone.
Oh, God. Come on, Doctor. What do you got? Number 4.
Billy.
No,
Billy already went.
Billy just went.
No, he was taking me.
Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Yeah.
He is considered one of the most popular actors in the world right now. And only because we put him over the top. He was always a great, great actor. But of course, Tony Stark's put him over the top. And he's very, very well known, throughout the world. Only because of that role alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he deserved an Oscar for that. You know what I mean? Just because it was like that type of movie, like maybe they looked down on it, but his acting was flawless. I mean, funny,
I couldn't agree more. And even more important than that, Billy, Iron Man was that first Marvel movie. If he's not in that movie and his performance is not what it is in that movie, the whole Marvel universe, I think, actually doesn't take off. Yeah. Because of his role and the popularity of how he played Tony Stark, they built the whole foundation of Marvel on his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, all those movies were great. And just the fact that they strung them together into this monster, how many movies made up that storyline?
Oh, God, of course.
It's unbelievable.
It's brilliant.
I mean, I believe one of his first acting roles he was part of the Brat Pack originals.
Yeah, I mean, he was in 16 Candles, all that early stuff, right? All that
Weird Science was
Weird Science, yeah, of course, right.
I'll take the whole bottle. Movie. How about I shove this bottle right up your ass? Yeah, that's okay. Great. Thank you. I'll just walk away.
But it's funny too. When we talk about all time, right? A lot of people are going to probably say, "Oh, Robbie Downey Jr. Yeah, he's popular now, but not all time forever." But here's the argument. A stat that I remember, I think I read a couple of years ago, and I'm assuming it's still true. There are more people alive today than have ever died, ever.
Well, that's until Thanos comes.
Until Thanos comes, yes.
Good point, Ernie.
So I don't know if that's think about that. That's a crazy statement. So there's more people alive right now than have ever died. So if there's 10 billion people leave Billy alone. Stop it.
Well, not for nothing. Thanos has, he had a good idea. There's too many people.
I think Thanos is the hero every time I'm driving on a Belt Parkway. Oh my God.
I'll take my chances, Thanos. Just snap. I'm going to make it.
I think
I sit on the subway. I go, "Where's Thanos when you need him?"
I think it was there was Bill Burr, the comedian, was doing some skit on that, like talking about COVID and all the people dying and everything. Goes, there was less traffic.
Oh, it's awful.
That was great. My commute from Pennsylvania was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Listen, that's a good top five. Top five moments you'd want Thanos the most.
Yes.
Write that one down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come
you know
on,
what?
Ernie.
That's a good shirt. Where's Thanos when you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
That's a great
Too
shirt.
crowded. It's too crowded. Get Thanos.
What do you got, Aaron? Number 4.
Oh, I can't believe it hasn't been said yet. Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
Ernie doesn't have that like alternate list available. He sticks with his list.
Ernie's listen. Unless his anal beads are going off, triggering to say something else, he's sticking with his list. You know that.
His anal beads are Carmine right now, feeding him lines.
Colleen's not in the other room like this.
Wrong.
Wrong
Hand
answer,
him a
Ernie.
beard. Hand him a beard.
Yeah.
Billy mentioned before his singing songs. He got good singing songs, but he also has got good movies. He got acting movies. Yeah, Manchurian Candidate, From Here to Eternity. These are incredible movies.
Did you guys see that new? I think we talked about one on a previous episode. The Offer, the Godfather story.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It's so
It
good.
was so good.
It's how the Godfather was made, but it's a movie. It's series, fictional series, but it's based on a guy's book, the producer's book. And
What's it on?
It's what is it on, Billy?
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it's incredible. The Offer. It's like a 10-part series of how the Godfather was made, how nobody wanted this movie made. The mafia put hits out to try to stop the movie to being made. Sinatra literally had a fight with Mario Puzo in a club, trying to stab him with a fork, because in Mario Puzo's book, he's basically saying Frank Sinatra is Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather, and he was,
Yeah, well,
ashamed of that, right?
That's what the word on the street was.
Right. So Sinatra was trying to put a stop to it, and Sinatra's as big, bigger than ever, early 70s. So he's
That was
trying
the
to tell.
Genovese crime family that was based on.
Exactly. The Offer is incredible. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
did we just glaze over what I just said? Am I on mute?
What happened? What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I'm talking about Frank Sinatra and.
Oh yeah. Well, Frank Sinatra.
No, that's
was
what we're
in
talking
that.
about. No, I brought it up because The Offer, Frank Sinatra is a big part of that, because he tries to get The Godfather shut down.
He was very much into politics too, with JFK and everything. There was a whole thing that went on with
Ernie,
that.
you mentioned the not the Manchurian Candidate. What's the other one you mentioned?
From Here to Eternity.
From Here to Eternity. Which is the movie that is talked about in The Godfather?
Godfather. That's it.
Here to
Godfather, From Here to
Eternity. Right.
Eternity.
That's what triggered. That's what got me on that tangent there. Ernie.
Yeah, he got nominated. And I think he won like 10 Grammys or something like that.
That new war film you're working on.
Mr. Waltz.
He never gets that picture. He'll be a big star if he gets that picture. And a man in my position cannot afford to look ridiculous.
I look ridiculous.
Now you get the hell out of here.
I ain't no band
Tell
leader.
those goombas back in New York that I ain't no band leader. Oh, I heard about that one.
I'm Irish. I'm Irish German. What does he say? He goes, "All right, my Kraut McFriend." What is it?
All right then, my Kraut friend.
Oh, that was great.
Oh God, what a movie! Jesus. All right, my number 4. I gotta go. I mean, this one has to be on. I'm assuming on everyone's list. I think you got to go Michael Jackson. Who the hell doesn't know who Michael Jackson is? I don't care if you're 2 years old or you're 200 years old. You know Michael Jackson. Even if you don't know every song he's done, you know a song or you've heard of Michael Jackson, whether it's the scandals, whether it's the hits, whatever it is. Michael Jackson, one of the biggest entertainers of all time.
I thought it was the obvious one, so I left it off the list.
Yep, Joe. Now you be starting something.
Yeah. You can't, I mean, without a doubt, like during his day, even when he even when he died, he was almost like bankrupt, with all the loans and stuff he had. And when he passed away, his music collection and album sales after his death was like off the charts. That his family, like he had bought the Beatles, the rights to the Beatles, his estate and all that stuff, and his musical catalog, that they're like worth $1 billion now when he died. Like he would be broke if he was still alive. It was just crazy.
I don't believe an artist can be of that magnitude, like Elton John, when he claimed he was bankrupt too. When you had, unless he has broken hands and he can't sing anymore,
No.
I believe that an artist of that magnitude could go and fill a stadium up, like Billy Joel, or put his name on his own label, tell some company, go there and go, listen, I'll give you 90% of the proceeds, or give me 50% of the proceeds on selling the albums. And any new company would welcome Michael Jackson in 2 seconds.
You're 100%.
I can't consider them.
You're
broke.
1,000% right. Those people,
they are their own asset. They are their own asset.
the people of that magnitude that try to say they're going bankrupt and they're broke, I believe that it just means they don't have liquid assets. They don't have cash in the bank, 50 million in cash in the bank. But their property, their estate, their music catalog, their publishing, them, like you said, are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. So they don't understand what really broke means.
I mean,
I agree with you, Billy. That's what they say, and I agree with you, Billy.
No, you could make up the money,
I just bothered me when they say it.
The Beatles catalog was crazy, But anyway, like just the magnitude of what happened after he died.
Well,
you know what I mean? The
McCartney got
money
it back. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah. So
all right, Bill, we're back to you. Number 3.
So my number 3 engineer is Alexander Graham Bell, and if it wasn't for him,
no,
we might not.
Wrong topic. Stop it.
We might not be talking tonight. He started the framework for communication. Oh no, that wasn't it.
I heard Battles actually invented the telephone.
Are you joking around?
Yeah.
Bill, if you keep going like this, we might not be talking later either.
Oh, that was the top.
You keep talking like this,
So,
we're not gonna be able to fix you up with another girl.
Oh, that's not happening anyway. But anyway, so
Sit down and have dinner and talk about Alexander Bell. I don't think.
Billy, this is the worst year ever for the barn to close.
Yes. Well,
Shit.
no. Look at Joe. I gotta say, this has never happened, right? And we could all say this. I've never walked into a bar and a bunch of women turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I gotta have that."
Billy, I'll tell you right now. If the barn was open, we walk into
the wrong bar.
We walk into the barn next year. We walk into the barn around, what time's it close? 8 o'clock. We walk into the barn around 7:35.
Oh, I got some bars near me up in PA.
Uh-oh.
If you like women without teeth.
Oh man!
Oh man, look at him. Woohoo.
He's got a collar on his shirt. Whoa, holy cow.
He's from up north.
That must be a working man. He's for us. Hey, Gladys, get over here.
Welcome to the hold down.
All right. Ready?
Come on, number 3.
All these movies, he's got tons of them. Love them. When I was little, remember first seeing them, but George Lucas. Just even now with the whole Star Wars content, especially now that Disney has bought Star Wars. I mean, The Mandalorian, the whole concept originated from what he did and what he put out. And I've spent hours and tons of money on all these movies, buying them, multiple versions of them, VHS. And then I bought them on DVD, and then I bought them on digital, and now they're free on Disney. So I wasted all my money. I could have just spent $9.99 a month and would have saved all the money. But I just constantly have repetitively watched them. Rogue One, one of the, all of those movies obviously were his vision of this concept, and how much money that generated that franchise.
I get angry with this vision shit, because I think if George Lucas had his way, it would have been dark. I think Disney listen, I got 2 little girls at home, so I'm all for empowering females. I got sisters that are in law enforcement. I'm all for it, but I can actually predict where it's going now. Every show, it's predictable, and I know George Lucas would never wrote it like that. too predictable. The girl was going to come up. She was going to be the strong one. She was going to be the heroine. She was going to, and that annoyed me about that whole series. And I was a big Star Wars guy.
Well, my only
Sorry,
question.
I had event.
My
And
only-
every idiot in Disney every guy plays an idiot.
Well, that's
A
true.
buffoon.
I do agree with that.
You know?
But my only question with Lucas, the pick of Lucas is, yeah, obviously he's big because he created that universe, right? But do you think the name, do you think people know who that is? People know Star Wars, but do you think they know who George Lucas is? If I
Why
tell,
do I think Spielberg? Why do I think Spielberg is a bigger name than
I
Lucas?
think so too. I agree.
Well, I think Spielberg's definitely a bigger name because he did more types of movies. He
And
wasn't
there's
he
even,
wasn't known for one.
There's even a bigger one that's
Right.
on my honorable mentions we'll get to later. But Lucas is a good pick. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Doc, what do you got? Number 3.
Well, I was going to be frank, but we're going to skip that. I was looking up real popular people, really world famous people. I said, let me see if Hitler ever entertained. Now, I don't want to come off.
No, but
Listen.
listen. No, you're listen.
I want to say this seriously.
Go
I'm
ahead.
denouncing Hitler as remotely any kind of thing he was. He was not a human being, and I'll leave it at that. But I was just curious to see if he was any kind of entertainment, and just to spice it up and maybe learn something.
But you are
And,
right. If we were talking about most well-known figures ever, Hitler would be
Right.
up there, of course. But we're not. That's not the subject.
You know who's the only? You know who liked Hitler?
Yeah, but
His
what I
dog.
found out,
I don't want to hear that he sang and danced.
He enjoyed karaoke.
he did. No, listen.
He did karaoke.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hitler's dog loved him.
This is the quote. I always piss myself. Ready? Had dreams of playing an instrument, had short lessons in piano, violin, and dabbled in harmonica and flute. In the end, he settled for whistling, which he did frequently. So I don't even know why that would be put. You know,
All right.
Come on. What's your real number 3?
So he was a whistler. Anyway,
But he's not famous for being a whistler. He's famous for some other things.
I didn't have a backup, so I'm gonna have to go Robert Williams.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
That's good.
Let's go Robert Williams as a comedian, actor. He
TV.
was like,
Yeah, TV, movies.
So your number 3. Your number 3 was either Hitler or Robert Williams. All right.
what's up? There was, listen, I was just looking up things, like curious, like to see if, you know, would have been funny if he ever sang, like you said, don't tell me he sang and danced, but
Well,
anyway.
well, here's a question, Doc. So I don't know if you have any more comedians on your list, but do you think Robin Williams is the most famous comedian of all time?
They say in the internet, when I was on it, they have him listed in the comedians. Now, in the United States, let's say, he's listed as top 3 of all time next to Richard Pryor, George Carlin. He's listed up there, you know. If you
Well,
put,
I even
if you
Eddie
put
Murphy,
him
Bill
in-
Cosby, right?
Eddie Murphy and
but Eddie Murphy, right? But he's
Bill
Dave-
Cosby.
No, understood.
Dave
No,
Chappelle.
understood. What I'm saying is he's considered, especially in improv. You know, that was his
Yeah,
special.
yeah. Listen, I'm not going to argue it. I'm just.
But his movie catalog alone,
right. That's what I would say.
that
Yeah.
was crazy. And he was one of the first next to Whoopi Goldberg to make that step over that line. Whoopi Goldberg did it in Ghost. And what was Robert Williams' first movie? Was Ernie that he stepped over probably into serious acting?
Popeye.
Bark?
Popeye.
Well, Popeye was kind of comedy too.
Oh.
Yeah, that was comedy. Though.
What was
and
his
Garp-
first serious role?
After Popeye was The World According to Garp.
There you go. Of
Right, but
and
there was also Awakenings,
course.
Awakenings became a little bit later, yeah.
Dead Poet
Tom-
Society.
you're
Dead Poets
100%
Society was
right.
so big, yeah.
I mean, he was in so many big movies, and I'm
Mrs.
just like,
Doubtfire. I mean, his catalog is. I'm missing a lot too here.
no, but
Oh,
what
boy.
Tommy, what you're saying, like similar thing, like trying to get an idea of what to pick. He is up. He's in almost every one of them, and pretty high on the list. Considering I wouldn't have thought offhand until you mention his name, and then you think about his body of work and all the movies is in. Like, and that he did comedy and was great at it. I mean, you watch him on any of these talk shows when he was a guest, he was gold on all those talk shows.
Yeah, his improvisation was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
without a doubt. Even when he
You
hosted the
mix that with some
Oscars.
cocaine and you got gold.
Yeah, you got gold. Leave some drugs on the table and watch the fun fly.
Yeah, listen, good pick. I can't argue with it. Ernie, what do you got? Number 3.
I think the Robin Williams is a great choice, by the way. My number
Thank you,
3, Michael Jackson.
There it is.
No wonder he didn't bring a list. He's going to use ours.
He's just using our list, right?
Just-
Next thing he's going to say Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, it's
Actually, Sinatra and Michael Jackson were actually higher on my list, but once it was said, I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, might as well go with it now, right?
I can do it now.
you flipped him.
Sinatra and Michael Jackson were higher, but because it's been said, I'm going to throw my Michael Jackson out now. I'm throwing him out. He was nominated for a Golden Globe for the movie The Wiz. Bet you didn't know that. Acting.
Great movie.
He did a lot of dancing. He did a lot of music.
He danced. He can sing and dance.
The man can dance.
He actually created the Dance the Robot. He was the first.
I love the Eddie Murphy skit when he talks about the moonwalk. He goes, "What the fuck kind of dance is this new moonwalk that Michael Jackson came up?" He's like, he's dancing at the club. All right, baby, we're dancing at the club. All right, do the moonwalk. See you later, baby.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get a drink.
Good, baby.
You know, you were talking about him buying the Beatles royalties. Do you know who gave him the advice that there was money to be
Paul
made?
McCartney.
It was Paul McCartney. Gave
It
him
was
that
during
advice.
it was during the Say video when they became friends. He
Yep.
told him that he should invest his money into
Publishing.
publishing. Yeah.
And I think it was Linda's father or somebody that started to do it even when Paul got into it. Like he told
Yeah,
him
he was
you
his
got to
father-in-law,
buy.
I believe.
Right.
He was the first one in the Beatles to get the guys on board to do that. He said, "This is the future
Wow.
of
And I
stuff."
don't know if this is true or not, but when you go to some of these restaurants, sometimes they come up with some different birthday version of a song that somebody said that somebody owns Happy Birthday and they're not allowed to technically sing it
Yep.
in the store.
Joey knows the rules to this.
Yeah,
Joey
I
knows
mean,
the rules.
Is that right?
I think that what they're saying is true. But there are laws where it's public domain songs. Like there are a lot of old school songs that are now public domain. I don't know if Happy
Amount of
Birthday
years,
is.
Joey, right? X amount of
Yeah,
years.
it's.
it
I
becomes public
think
domain.
it's 75 years, but I don't know the exact years. But it's only 75 years unclaimed, I think. So it could be. Let's just say Ernie wrote
Right.
Happy Birthday in 1920, and then Ernie dies, and then Ernie's estate takes over the rights for Happy Birthday in 1950. That it still keeps transferring. So it's only stuff that doesn't have any natural home or rights.
Really,
Then
really,
it
put
becomes
this way.
popular domain.
My daughter's birthday, right, was in July. We sang Happy Birthday. I received a letter in the mail from Gene Simmons saying that I was to cease and assist on using Happy Birthday again because he was
Yes,
the
but
first
he
one
had to
to
pay
ever use the term.
25 cents. for
He was the
singing
first one to
Happy
ever use the
Birthday.
term.
This is the second time you took my turn and you all went off on an incredibly boring tangent.
Ernie, you can't say the word tangent. Gene Simmons also owns that.
God damn. Oh, he owns that too.
I always loved that there was a Craig Gass was on Howard Stern. He used to do like great Gene Simmons imitations.
Oh, yes.
And so they had him dress up like Gene Simmons and they were bringing people off the street to meet Gene Simmons. And this guy comes in, he's like so excited. He thinks he's really meeting him and he starts talking. He's like, "You're not Gene Simmons." He goes, "Yes, I am. I'm Gene Simmons for Kiss." And he goes, "Well, no, you're not." He goes, "I'll prove it to you." He goes, "All right, how are you going to prove it to me?" He goes, "How much money you have in your pocket?" He goes, $40. "Give it to me."
It was $5. He goes, "That'll do."
Yeah, give it to me.
Did you guys put this out there? Was if you look in the mirror at midnight and you have a $20 bill in your hand and you say Gene Simmons 3 times, he appears in the mirror and reaches out and takes a $20 bill.
That's like a horror movie.
I would be
Yeah.
a great new like horror movie spoof. Oh my God, he's so good.
I was watching.
We just wrote the new Saturday Night Live season so far. The anal beads and the Gene Simmons in the mirror. That's already 2 skits. We need 3 more skits, and we wrote the whole show already.
I was watching an old episode of Taxi, and they had the one where Jim had the premonition that Alex was gonna die,
Oh, it's the best.
and
Oh, this
he's
show's
in the apartment. He's wearing the catcher's mask. He's doing the
Oh.
can,
and then knock at the door.
but it goes past the time, and they're like, huh, you see, everything's okay, and all of a sudden, the knock on the door. Louis is just.
Oh.
That's what's great about those things. Those shows, when you haven't watched them in so long, you just appreciate how funny they were.
And
But that was a classic.
The Girl Scout was at the door, right?
Yeah, yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
of course.
And Louis just screams, ah! He's holding on to the little chain latch. Like, what's that gonna do?
Taxi is one of the most underrated shows of all time.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about Taxi. No, there's no reruns in Taxi anywhere almost.
No,
Killer.
you're right about that.
Yeah.
You are right about that.
All right, where are we? My number 3. So my number 3, we're going with another singer.
Let me write it down so I know my list.
Ernie, I'm going to take your number 1, possibly, maybe not. I just watched this movie today. I actually didn't love the movie. I thought I was going to love it. Elvis.
Oh,
How do you
Left
go?
them off my list.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not have Elvis there? Elvis was my number 1 for a while, and I've been going back and forth. I don't think there's a person alive that doesn't know Elvis. I mean, come on. Whether you know what he did or what song he did, I think you know the name Elvis. You show them the caricature of Elvis, and they'll say that's Elvis. I think.
You know, he's the only one to outsell Michael Jackson. 500 million copies to 400 million.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're 2 and 3 are the most popular entertainers of all time in the world.
But wait, they both outsold the Beatles?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ernie, what were you going to say?
Worldwide. Yeah.
Ernie,
You also know that they're related.
Well, you're right. Michael married Elvis's daughter, right?
Yep.
Which is
That's true.
insanity, right? The Jackson and Presley blood
They're
have
they're
produced
in-laws.
children. Yeah.
That's
So wait,
scary.
what does that makes Elvis Michael's father-in-law?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that's so weird. Elvis is Michael Jackson's father-in-law.
Not only that, but Michael Jackson is Elvis's son-in-law.
Good point, Ernie. I like that.
as crazy as that sounds,
Way to drive that nail in, Ernie.
Yeah, I watched that movie today. It was a really good movie. I know most of that story of Elvis's life and stuff, but I got to tell you, the one thing I absolutely detested throughout the whole movie, Tom Hanks was god awful in this movie. I never thought I'd say it.
Really?
Awful. And I don't even think it was his fault. I just think they had him in a fat suit the whole time. He looked like Eddie Murphy in Nutty Professor with the clumps, whatever, all the fat suits and stuff. He had this ridiculous accent trying to be Elvis's manager, Colonel Sanders, Tom Parker, right? Colonel Sanders, Tom Parker,
Colonel Sanders.
But it was so distracting.
Tom Hanks as Colonel Sanders.
That's what it felt like. That's why I said it, I think.
Extra crispy.
The guy who played Elvis was phenomenal. Tom Hanks was awful in this movie.
Wow.
That's almost impossible because he always made my list.
You got to
And I'm
watch the
telling
movie.
you right now, everything he touches is gold. And
Every
it's so
time
weird
he's
to hear
on
that.
every time he's on the screen, it's
Yeah.
it's distracting because he looks like, we keep mentioning Saturday Night Live. He looks like his Saturday Night Live character.
Shit.
So my number 3, Elvis Presley, the father-in-law of the late great Michael Jackson. All right, back to you, drunk. Number 2.
Wait. Oh, me. Well,
That's all.
segueing in,
Everyone
You
loves
kind
drunk.
of-
Don't me.
you kind of just slammed my number 2. Tom Hanks.
Oh no! Yeah.
He's my honorable mention, Bill. He was my honorable mention.
This is guy, like, from an acting perspective, cartoons, with Toy Story, all the other movies that he was in. I mean, the guy, for about 45 minutes of a movie, him and a volleyball made it interesting,
Oh, it's
on an
unbelievable.
island.
He got the volleyball nominated.
Yeah, the volleyball received an Oscar. But even just hearing his voice, like his voice in Toy Story, Big, you know, it was always a fun movie to watch. You know, I watched that with my kids, you know, one of these old movies were on just to show them, like, and you know, they took interest in watching it, you know, and how far or how long he's been in Hollywood. I mean, bosom buddies to
What? Hello?
bosom buddies. He was in Bosom Buddies. And
The bees are buzzing.
the piece of and you know, all the other movies that he's been involved with. And one of my favorites, obviously, is Toy Story. How great was that franchise that he was involved?
I mean, Saving Private Ryan,
Right,
Philadelphia.
right.
It doesn't stop. Punchline. Everything he just shit's gold, man. The guy.
No, listen. I agree, and I didn't mean to shit on your pick, Billy. I'm
Oh,
so.
it
don't get me wrong.
stinks.
A League of Their Own. A League of Their Own.
I'm so glad I did. But watch Elvis.
Well, now I don't want to watch it.
He's distracting in the movie. He was trying to play this character, and the makeup and the accent that they gave him it's almost unwatchable. His scenes.
Well, maybe we should watch the real guy in real life. Maybe he's almost unwatchable. And maybe he nailed the character.
No, listen. He did sound and look like him, but it looks like Tom Hanks in a fat suit.
You know, and he was in you know, Apple was trying to obviously push their network that they have, and he was in a movie called Greyhound, where he's like a you know, a boat captain of a ship that's trying to get a Nazi submarine that's sinking everything. And it's not a long movie, but it's like, it was such a good movie. It was like this action in the whole thing. Like, you know, they're trying to get the submarine. It wasn't really any slow parts to it. You know, he plays those great roles. You know, he just, the way he handles himself, and he's just a really, really good actor.
Ernie, what's the movie that he's in the airport?
Oh yeah, another one. Right.
What is it? Terminal. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah.
You're right.
What's her name in that?
Yeah.
I have that.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah.
The Avenger, the Russian Avenger. What's her name?
The Russian Avenger?
Isn't she in that one? Oh no, that was another one. They were.
No, she wasn't in that one. What's her name's what?
Forgot what movie she's in that.
What's her name's husband?
Let's pause for a second to do a little quick commercial for Monkey Shoulder. Come on. And a word from our sponsors.
Hello, everyone. If you're like me, late at night, want a little something to calm you down, have a little Monkey Shoulder. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's really, really, ooh, 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 ooh. It's really good stuff. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Very
Next
nice.
week.
And now back to the show.
Next week he's going to be
Very
swinging
nice.
the anal beads around.
Very nice.
Late at night, when you feel a little anxious. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Put these in.
After a bottle of Monkey Shoulder, I like to shove a whole thing of beads on my ass. Play some chess.
Tom, Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was in Terminal.
All right.
Right. There was the one. It was Bill Murray and what's her name? The Avenger, Russian Avenger. What's her name?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Did you have a seizure, Ernie? What the
Sean Connery.
No, I hit the button on the beads.
hit the buzzer?
Sean Connery's with us. Scarlett Johansson.
George.
Oh Lord. All right, Doctor, number 2.
All right. Muhammad Ali.
You sent this picture before I was crying.
I was crying too because I misread the spelling. I went online. I just wanted to do like a quick wiki of the great one. And some Pakistani actor came up with the same name, Muhammad Ali. And it was just spelled with the A and the U were different. And it blew my mind. But this Pakistani, this actor, I almost wanted to pick him instead. Turned out he was very well loved and adored in Asia.
You actually read the whole article, you idiot.
I'm going to go check out some of his movies now with this Pakistani actor. But yes, Muhammad Ali, all 6'3", 236 pounds of him, baby. Love him.
Yeah, obviously.
And he's Irish.
He's
I found that out tonight.
he's one of the biggest sports people of all time, of course. So I actually had him on my list for a little while. I saw your picture. I took him off my list, but my little criteria too was I kind of had like a 12-person list, and I was asking my daughter who she heard of, and I said Muhammad Ali. I actually said Jordan first, and she said, of course, who doesn't know Michael Jordan? She told me who he was, what he did, and I said Muhammad Ali, and I think she asked me if that was one of the guys in Doctor Strange. She had no idea who Muhammad Ali was.
Well, his great-grandfather was Abbey Grady, an Irishman. So, gotta love him. He's part Irish.
Nice.
Found that out today. Now I can die in peace.
My Kraut McFriend. Yeah, how can you argue Muhammad Ali? He's, again, absolutely international star.
Yes.
Everyone worldwide, at least at one point, whether it's still today, at one point knew, maybe he might have been at one point the most famous person in the world, right? I would think.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yep.
Him, Elvis, and the Beatles.
Yep. Right around that same time period. Yep.
Yep.
All right,
But,
Aaron. Where are you?
My number 2, I gotta tell you, my next 2 is really
Don't rip off the Pakistani actor. You can't use that.
my next 2 really don't match up to what you guys have been going on. They're really personal, and they don't compare to Robin Williams, none. But I don't care.
You better
Not
not.
It's my
me?
choice.
Don't
my
you
show.
say Ozzy. Don't you do it.
My number 2 is actually Alice Cooper.
Oh, get him off the show.
As I said, it doesn't compare to what
Usually,
Get him off the show. Why?
Wow, Billy.
honestly, like that's like my picks usually. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm shocked that Ernie would even say that.
That's like Mission Impossible 46.
Yeah.
Billy just put down Ernie and put down himself at the same time. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
that was,
He goes,
honestly,
"That's the
usually
worst
those are
fucking
my
pick ever. That's something I would pick."
usually those are my picks. And Alice Cooper. I mean, he's not even famous.
I mean, I had Sinatra and Michael Jackson higher, but you guys kept throwing those out, so I had to keep lowering them. So Alice Cooper has raised up the number 2.
I could see Alice Cooper. So far, your list is Bruce Springsteen, Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, and Alice Cooper's above all of them. I could see that.
It wasn't the original plan. It's actually your fault for Michael Jackson and Billy for Sinatra.
Hey, wait.
All
Number one's gonna be
singers
Mikey-
so far.
Number one's gonna be Mikey D.
Bobby Monday was on my list for the helmet riding around the neighborhood.
Christian, no, that was Christian.
Oh, Christian,
Palmieri.
right? Christian, yeah. One more time for the kids.
Alice Cooper has the greatest concert. It's just so damn entertaining. It's even better than Kiss.
You better watch your mouth. Watch it.
It has more of a story though. Kiss does not have a story. It's just them doing tricks
It
basically.
doesn't have a story. They have their own movie, their own comic book. What do you? I'll tell you. I could tell you a million backstories on Kiss.
I mean, a Kiss concert.
Of course.
An Alice Cooper concert has a beginning, a middle, and end where he dies. That they kill him at the end. He's doing the crimes. Why
Yeah,
they
I'm
kill him at the end?
just curious. What is the backstory on Gene Simmons?
He's an immigrant from Israel. Came here, started sticking his tongue out and spitting blood. Made
Gotta love America.
made 100
Gotta love
million.
America.
There you go.
Gotta love America. Up, down, there it is. Came over.
Israel, tongue, blood. There it is.
Israel, both, blood, tongue. There it is.
200 million.
How many episodes have you done of top 5?
This is. I think we're in our 70s now.
7. That's the worst pick out of all 7.
Oh, I got it. Well, you know what?
Okay, the worst pick I've ever heard in my entire. Not that I don't like Alice Cooper, but give me a break.
100th episode, we might do top 5 worst picks of all of us.
Well, put this as number 1.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, Billy. When we
you're-
picked our top 5 greatest band members of all time, and Wolfgang Van Halen was your member instead of Eddie.
You wait and see when you go to heaven and you see where he ranks. You'll
And don't
see.
forget, Billy also chose Zac Efron.
What was that one? I don't remember.
I didn't select Zac Efron. This
One of the
Douche down
band
there.
members.
He
One of the band
did.
members.
You did, Billy.
No, I never selected
It's
Zac
disgusting.
Efron.
And Mission Impossible 61.
Let's say I was gonna stand by Tom Cruise.
No, Zach Brown, whatever.
Oh, Zac.
Oh, Zac Efron. Oh, listen, Ernie. Zac Brown is one of the most popular musicians there is. He's better than your guy.
I
I
will
have not heard of Zach Brown until you explained it.
I hate to admit it, but I'm a Zac Brown fan, way bigger than Alice Cooper.
Exactly. See, two out
Alex
of
is awesome. Leave him alone.
Oh, listen.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, my
I
number.
don't know if he's the most famous, popular person in the world, but
Yeah. All right. Most famous entertainer. Nobody has this on their list.
Right,
Nobody.
The number two most famous entertainer in the world, Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper's mother doesn't even have this on her list.
I could have dealt with Kiss or Ozzy in that slot too.
Yeah.
All right, my number two. Nobody better argue this one. He was my number one for a very long time. I think the first sports figure. No, I had Michael Jordan and you had Ali, right? So, sports figure. To me, I think the biggest sports figure of all time. Whether he's the best doesn't matter. Biggest name of all time, Babe Ruth.
No. Yeah.
Who the hell's bigger than Babe Ruth in sports?
I thought you were going to go with Derek Jeter.
The Jeter is beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
That's where I thought you were going.
But
with this one.
Listen,
I don't know,
Jeter.
Joe. I don't know.
Who's bigger than Babe Ruth?
Back in the day when there was no social media and stuff. I don't know if he ever around the world.
But even now, you say Babe Ruth to a kid.
He was
My
larger
kids know
than
who
life.
Babe Ruth is. I don't know how they do.
In the United States.
Worldwide.
And maybe I don't even know if Japan was playing baseball back then. I have no clue. I don't even know when they started playing.
Japan's league, baseball in Japan is big. I
No, I know
guarantee
that.
you,
I'm saying, I don't know when they started playing.
everyone in Japan knows who Babe Ruth is.
Oh no, I agree with that. But I'm saying the whole world though. Like he's no David Hasselhoff with jerk.
No, he said you're all right, Spider.
Oh, he's no Hoff. What did you call him?
No,
Why is he the Hoff? Hasselhoff. That's why.
Yeah, that's what they call him, the Huff.
He's the Hoff.
the Hoff. No politics.
I never heard of Babe Ruth before the Goonies.
Wait, hold. No, that is named after him, Baby Ruth.
And not for nothing.
Rocky Road.
Hey, you guys. That's
Babe Ruth
that's our friend
visited
Dave.
Japan on a tour.
No, that's our friend Dave.
Oh, there you go. Billy looked it up.
Yeah.
Tell the people, Billy.
He went to Japan on a tour. They had like a tour of Babe Ruth. They brought him around the world.
Japan, right. I'm giving you Japan because I know that they were big on baseball back then.
Yeah, you know.
Who's a bigger sports figure of all time than Babe Ruth?
Alice Cooper goes to Japan all the time on tour.
That name, I mean,
would say
today.
Muhammad Ali was bigger than Babe Ruth.
No way.
I give you
Not
that
in-
close, but I think Babe that's a tough
It's more
one.
American, where the
Not in
heavyweight
the
champion was the heavyweight champion of the world. You know
Not
what I
in the
mean?
history of sports. Babe Ruth is a more popular name.
Rod Carew.
In the United States, I give you.
Rod Carew, Ern. I love
Ernie.
the ones he remembers. Ron
Right.
Duguay. Ron Duguay.
Dan Pasqua. All right, come on. Back around. Drunk.
Who was it? Ed Whitson? He couldn't find home plate.
What was it?
Ed Whitson. Remember when he came from San Diego and he pitched for the Yankees? He was throwing all the wild pitches.
Oh, Steve Trout.
No, Ed Whitson also.
Yeah,
he was terrible also. All right.
Hold on. Let me recap what you got, Billy.
All right, go ahead. Tell the people.
Number 5, Tom Cruise, the star of Mission Impossible 59. Number 4, Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra. Number 3, George Lucas. Number 2, the miserable star of Elvis, Tom Fatsuit Hanks. And the number 1 most famous entertainer of all time, Alice Cooper's taken already. What do you got?
Well, this guy's not there yet, but when all's said and done, he will be the greatest entertainer of all time.
Don't say it.
None other than Wolfgang Van Halen. No,
Shut up.
all right.
Stop it.
I had to do that for Greg. I think Greg mentioned that, he was going to pick him if he came
You're on
on
a
the show.
crusade, Betty. You're on a crusade.
Yeah. So this is in the movie genre, and his list of movies is, I think, almost second to none. Steven Spielberg. I mean, just everything that the guy did. Movies you don't even like. There's certain movies that you watch and shows you watch that he was involved with. Like one of the from an Army perspective, one of the great series is Band of Brothers on HBO, and him and Tom Hanks were both involved with producing that. Saving Private Ryan, all the other films. I mean, you look at his catalog and you can't. E.T. and I just watched that again a few weeks back, and it was like, oh my God, how great was that movie? How fun was that movie? So there's just so much stuff the man has done, and one of the greatest things, like one of the interesting things about him, but Universal was opening up Universal Studios down in Florida, and they didn't know what to put in it, like ride wise. So they asked Steven Spielberg if they can use some of his rides. So he asked for a percentage of the gate that he still gets today. He gets like 2%, I believe, of everybody who goes to Universal.
Oh my God.
At the gate?
At the gate. I don't know the exact deal. I'll look it up, but he even envisioned that. You like, oh, you want to use Jurassic Park or all these other things that I was involved with. They have an ET ride in Universal. All the things they used, they didn't know what to put in there. Like Disney had all their stuff. Right. They needed something, and they asked Steven Spielberg and cut a deal with him that he's still probably one of the best deals ever. How long that's been.
Hi, Billy.
That was good.
That was good, Tom. Yeah. So, I mean,
listen, he's obviously one of the biggest writers, producer, directors of all time. Of course.
You probably could do a top 5 on Spielberg movies, and each of you come up with your own list.
Spielberg is a good choice, Bill. Very good choice, Bill. You're doing great.
He's no Alice Cooper or Zac Efron, but he's up there.
Zach Brown.
Oh, Zach Brown, yeah. Nobody can argue that. Come on, Doctor. What do you got? Number 1, here's your list so far. We got number 5, The Hoff. David Hasselhoff. Number 4, Robert Downey Jr. Number 3, Robin Williams. Number 2, not to be mistaken with the Asian actor Muhammad Ali, but the boxer Muhammad Ali. What do you got? Number 1.
Give me a second. Okay, just all right. Here we go. Jesus.
No. Entertainers. That is a historical figure.
He entertained.
How did he entertain?
Changed water into wine.
Oh, Lord.
Walked on water. Raised the dead. Cured lepers. He was great in Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, that's a different Jesus.
It was great.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm agreeing with Tommy.
Really?
You go see Jesus. You're getting real magic. Everybody's getting fed. You're getting all the wine for free. Nobody's not charging. Who else does that?
You think he did a little tap dancing, maybe like Cagney, Ernie, and Yankee Doodle?
No, he can't. Nobody could dance like that.
Not even Jesus. He walks on water. You're gonna tell. Hold on a second. You're gonna tell me.
If Gene Simmons was around back then, Jesus would be getting letters going. You can't do that.
You can't turn water into wine. We own both.
You can't walk on water. I already did that.
Jesus can walk on water, but he can't tap dance on water.
Hold on. Jesus is really your pick.
Yeah, he entertained.
Oh.
I do think if this wasn't entertainers and it was just famous people of all time and it was historical figures and politicians, whatever it is, I think Jesus is number 1. Who the hell is more? Not to say hell and Jesus in the same sentence.
Yeah, right.
Who the hell is more famous than Jesus?
Yeah.
Nobody, right? Am I wrong?
Alice Cooper. You got Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, right. I would just go with Alice Cooper. Cooper, then Jesus.
It's like you could put both of them on the scale. It'll even
It's
out.
close. It's a hair
Only
away.
Jesus bleeds. Only Jesus bleeds.
Yeah, he came back. He roasting the dead. He moves the big rock, right? He does all that stuff, right? They wipe his face. The thing is on the towel. Yeah, I guess he's basically like David Blaine.
Disappears here, comes back over there.
Over here, over there.
Over here, over there.
Yeah,
I'm over here now.
that's what he said. You think?
Yeah.
You
David
think?
Blaine,
Hold
yeah.
on a second. You think Jesus, when he came back, that's what he said? I'm over here now.
Over here now.
It was abracadabra.
Oh, God almighty. You're making Jesus sound like Dean. All right, we'll
Yeah,
give
I
you
ran
Jesus.
out. I ran out. That's
Yeah.
it.
Listen, in a weird way, I guess I agree.
Jeez. Oh, oops.
Right? I mean, obviously he's famous, but entertainer, I guess he did. He was a performer, right? I guess
Yeah.
he did. A little bit of a show off, right? Did his stuff
A little bit.
a little bit.
If he would have kept a little profile, things might have been turned out a little different.
So you're saying he got too big? He's too big of a performer.
According to Judas, he did get too big.
Yeah. All right. I listen. I get it. All
He
right.
needed an agent.
Ernie,
He needed an agent.
I don't know what you. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know where you're gonna go after Jesus. But here's your list so far. We got Bruce Springsteen, number 5. Number 4, another Frank Sinatra. Number 3, Michael Jackson. Number 2, of course, the world famous Alice Cooper. And your number 1 most famous entertainer of all time is.
Billy wants to fire him.
I know. It's just like I cannot believe he said that.
I have a
He's
feeling
so mad.
this might even be worse, Billy. Let's see.
Oh, jeez, I might leave.
He's so disgusted.
I know. It's just
You can't guess.
he needs anal beads in his mouth to shut him up.
Well, if I refer back to your quote in the beginning, I'm gonna guess, but you tell me.
Musician with only one name,
Oh my God.
Thing.
Prince.
Eh,
Prince is more famous than Michael Jackson, Ernie. That's the age-old argument, right?
My favorite. And Prince was a better actor.
I was naming favorites.
I'm
Why-
always naming.
On my
favorites.
list, they got more popular.
Why, you trying to say Jesus is not one of your favorites?
My favorite, number 1. Team Jesus, baby. Look.
Yeah, Ernie, listen, I know he's your favorite, but is he really the most popular entertainer of all time? Is he even the most popular on your list?
He could sing. He could play music. He could act.
I didn't.
He could dance.
So
Stop
could
it.
Bojangles. I mean,
He could
really?
do it all. He was a
Bojangles used to do all that, Ernie. It's not. I mean, he's not on anybody's list.
But the category is not my favorite entertainer ever.
Yeah.
It's who's the
Daniel
most
from
famous.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Colonel.
The Colonel.
Colonel.
I bet you Colonel's more
Yeah, but-
famous than Prince.
I think
Whenever
you can't
we-
kick the
whenever
Colonel
we
side.
do
I
the show-
put money on the Colonel.
Whenever we
Listen.
do these shows, I, not out loud, but silently put my favorite in front of the name of the show.
So again, you're missing my point. I agree. Everything I ever do on the show is my opinion. I don't go to an internet list and say, well, here's the top 5 most famous people. There's no such thing. It's my opinion. Who's the most popular of all time, right? When we do we would never do what are the top 5 best-selling albums of all time because there's legitimately, we could just name, we know we could look that list up. There's no proof to say who's the most famous. It's our opinion who's the most famous, right?
So what's the problem here?
Oh, Jesus.
It's not who you like, though. It's who you think is the most famous. And obviously, Prince, yeah, if you picked him at 5, I would have said, okay. Like but this is like your
Oh,
showstopper.
I think also it could be your favorite, but it should progress to more popularity towards
Yeah,
number 1.
Right. Well, I'm surprised you didn't pick the actor who played Sam Weir from Freaks and Geeks. I mean, that would have been a better pick.
Wait, honorable mention, Ernie?
Billy, you will be seeing me later with my fighting jacket on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, the good thing about my circumstances now is you won't know what house I'm in, so that's good.
Well, you got. Rumor has it that the block's getting back together.
Yeah,
Shit.
It's like the Blues Brothers.
yeah, we're getting back together. Tom,
We're on a mission
I'm
from
looking to
God.
buy a house. Let me know if the Kennedys move out.
no, they're still there. How no one's living in that house right now.
I know. Well, maybe I'll just
Yeah,
fucking go
buy
there.
and come back.
Just start squatting there, Tom. They don't
Let's start
care what those
squatting there.
difference.
We'll go
No
play some
family.
wiffle ball. We'll get
Yeah.
the guy across the street. We'll give the ball back.
Let's get the band back together.
That's it.
We'll meet there in the morning.
Tom,
Like-
you got to see
like
the
Ernie's
size
wedding.
of the wall. It's like the Green Monster over there now. He put up a giant fence. It's awesome.
No shit.
Yeah,
Ernie
he's got-
and Leone would like that.
he's got young kids too. We can get them in the game. You know,
Oh, we don't want those
Nice.
punks.
Corrupt the youth.
get them in the game.
How does squatting work exactly? We could just go in there and live there,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you live there long enough.
and that's legal.
Yeah,
If you stay
Yeah.
there long enough, it's legal. Just Tommy does it at Babel's house.
look, he's squatting now.
I think Ernie's picturing actual squatting. Like, do I have to sit there and squat for as long as I can?
I was squatting at Joey's house.
My knees hurt. I gotta go home. My knees hurt.
Got the kid,
Right.
kid did a squatting much longer. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Ernie pictures you get invited over to the house. And everyone's squatting in a circle in the house, like eating.
I love the woo-hoo-hoo.
Woohoo. All right, here we go. My list so far. We got Michael Jordan, number 5, Michael Jackson, number 4, Elvis Presley, number 3, the Big Bambino. Is that his name, the Big Bambino, or just the Bambino?
Yeah, Bambino.
Babe Ruth. I'm back and forth with my number 1. So I'm going to go this way. Just because you guys went Lucas, you went Spielberg. This guy is bigger than both of them. Same type of person, bigger than both. I'm going to go Mr. Walt Disney.
I knew you were gonna say that. I know you were gonna say
You know what? Not fair. You're using his name.
No.
Kids don't even people don't know him as Walt Disney. There's no Walt Disney as a company.
They know the company because of him. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but they don't know who Walt Disney is and what he looks like and what year he was born. They don't even give a shit.
Yes,
Popularity.
everyone knows what.
You think people don't think it's a
You
corporation?
think people know what size jeans Jesus wore? They don't know. The
I
hell
don't
are you
think
talking about?
I don't think they
What
were
size
No bottom.
He didn't wear jeans?
Jesus,
No,
Jesus.
Bob.
I think.
Can we
No bottoms.
hold on? New Amazon product, top 5 Jesus jeans.
I think Walt Disney is a great choice.
Yeah, who the hell is more popular than Walt Disney? I mean, I have honorable mentions that were. It's almost like another category that I'll name later, but Walt Disney. I mean, God, look at the empire that he has. Every person in the world knows Disney, right?
I look at it as a company, not the man.
Well,
He's
he started
That's
it
how I
all.
look
He's
at
the
it.
man, of course.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
but-
like Colonel
But I don't think if
Sanders.
people said, I don't think if people said, oh, Walt Disney, what does he look like? I don't think anyone would be able to fucking tell you what he looks like.
No, but he's still the
They know the
name.
company.
The name is still the most famous name ever. He was an
I get it,
he was an
it-
entertainer. He was a writer.
It
He
was
was
clever. I'm
was an-
upset I didn't think of it.
an
It was
animator, a
very
producer,
clever.
right?
Tommy, he's the Colonel Sanders of entertainment.
Told, I don't think I know what Alice Cooper really looks like anyway.
There you go.
Very good.
All right. What do we got? Some honorable mentions. Give us a couple before
right.
we're out of here, Billy. Give me a couple.
All right, so I just want to quickly, I did a little research and a little comment back with Steven Spielberg. His deal is 2%. He takes $50 million a year in from the ticket sales in Universal with an option for a buyout that currently is at $534 million.
So that would
let's
be
do it.
roughly 10 or 11 years worth of income. So he figures, why bother?
Right. Why would you give that up
Yep.
when you get 50 million for whenever till you
Well,
die?
and it's 50 million right now. I'm assuming every year the prices go up too.
Right, exactly. Everything goes, it's of the ticket sales. It's not net profit. It's this actual ticket sale itself. And if anybody has gone down there, it's insane to go to any of these things. When you look at the prices that it costs to go, like, I don't know how people.
Well, now
go
you know
there.
why, because they got to give 2% to Spielberg.
Yeah. But So that was it. I really don't have an honorable mention. Sam Weir, the actor plays Sam Weir. He was
Gotta kill
awesome.
Gene Simmons. That dilly he's got. Just
Simmons
gotta
for
kill Gene
Kiss.
Simmons.
I mean,
Gotta kill
Listen,
him.
George Lucas did a similar deal with Kenner when they did the action figures.
right.
He didn't want money up front. He wanted a percentage of the action figures, and Kenner was, of course, we'll give you anything. Lucas made 100 times more off the action figures than he did off the movies.
So just like honorable mention, some of the people on the list and look it up to try to get an idea. Dolly Parton actually was pretty
Yeah.
highly rated.
He's on the list.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball
Yeah.
was another
Yeah.
one.
But
that's
Lucille Ball at one time, I don't think if you say the words Lucille Ball in today's world, it's that well known.
and number 7, Betty White. I mean,
Yep.
it's just
Yeah,
like,
I saw that. Yeah.
so there's a lot of people like that you can argue. I mean, we kind of stayed away from groups.
A lot of things we don't know about Betty White. We don't know if the Golden Girls were #1 around the world, the TV
Yeah,
show. Like
right.
you have to
Yeah.
look a little further into it because
Right. There's a lot of there is, to your point, Tom, there is a lot of people that are famous all over the world, not just here, and
Right.
like you mentioned the Hoff, who knew Hoff was
I
as
mean,
big
you
as he
could,
was.
you could even go and say, who's the biggest Bollywood actor, right?
Yeah.
India has, billions of people.
Right.
All right, Doc, what do you got? A couple honorable mentions?
No, just Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck.
No, but you know what? When I came up with this category, that's a category I'd like to visit in the future. Top 5 fictitious characters of all time.
Okay.
But yeah, Paul
That's-
McCartney to
It was
me.
one of the obvious, but I would have thrown that up there against Elvis and Michael Jackson. I left it out. I thought it was gonna be an obvious. The Beatles in general, I thought it was gonna be an
I
obvious
think
one.
Paul McCartney, if I got to ask you guys just quickly off the top of your head, just the number one answer, who's the most famous living entertainer right now?
Paul McCartney.
I think it's Paul McCartney. Who's got one bigger? Ernie? No, Alice Cooper.
Can't think of it right now, but Paul McCartney has a writing credit on Thriller and Off the Wall.
Nice.
I thought that'd be interesting. I guess not.
He would definitely be. He's the one like Bruce Springsteen looks up to. I mean, he's the icon of all icons. Right
I
now.
don't know
Living.
someone bigger. The only one that I think is close living is Michael Jordan. I don't know if he's tops him, but he's close, I think.
I mean, you could put the Rolling Stones, Mick
Mick
Jagger,
Jagger, maybe. I don't know.
and Keith Richards, maybe right there.
Not as big as McCartney. Beatles were way bigger.
But if you want to talk about icons being around, living, because they would be the next best thing in music.
Sylvester Stallone.
Icons.
Oh, well,
Elton John.
Rocco.
Elton
You see
John.
that new movie he was on? He's in some movie.
Samaritan.
Samaritan.
Yeah, I saw it. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Ernie, what do you got? Honorable mention.
I already forgot what I was going to
Ernie,
say.
redeem yourself on this. All right, this was like you reached the hill and you went. It wasn't even slanted. It just went right straight down.
I think he's actually frozen now. Hold on. Ernie, you frozen?
Hit the anal beats.
Oh,
There
the
he
work.
is. The beats worked.
The beat,
Hey,
the bleeds.
What happened? Was I frozen?
Yeah, you're back, baby.
I think my phone died totally. I was on the thing.
Any honorable mentions, Ern? Oh, he's frozen again. All right, so the ones that I had.
really
Oh,
can't-
there he is.
Oh.
Go back, Ern.
Yeah, I don't. I go ahead. I don't have any.
So the ones that I had,
honorable
I
mentions.
think technically all of these, Billy, stop it. I think technically all of these are bigger than almost everyone we mentioned, but it's almost like its own category. So these would fit the list. Guys like Beethoven,
Beef oven.
Shakespeare,
Beef oven.
right?
Mozart.
Shakespeare, Mozart, Van Gogh. These are famous people throughout history that still today, you ask a kid who Beethoven is, they know who he is.
You forgot
don't
Carrot
agree with
Top.
you.
Carrot Top.
No Carrot Top.
I got one honorable mention.
What do you got?
Depending on
I
what
got
school you
one
go
guy.
to, kids don't know what Beethoven is.
What, Ernie?
This guy, I got one honorable mention. This guy's a musician. He's an actor. He's even an author. Joey Cassata.
It's a top 8, I say. That's blocking the hit 3 blocked.
Multiple books, Ern.
It's true.
Multiple books,
Multiple bestsellers. Oh, nicely done. But again, the Van Goghs, the Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, you know, those types of that whole generation.
That's all literature that's been around. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but that's all, you know, it's all popular stuff. I didn't do it because I didn't want to go that route. But I think they're in the argument. Beethoven?
No, they're in that list of popular, most famous people ever
Yeah.
to exist. They're in that list.
You know, if you go just famous people and not entertainers, you go Einstein, right? Jesus. Who else is just most famous people, well-known people of all time, whether they're popular or not? Hitler's there, I think.
Adam, Eve.
Yeah, Adam and Eve. Who do we go with? Adam or Eve?
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know Hitler whistled.
Beethoven never had a hit. A top 40 hit.
I didn't know he.
Can you imagine he just stuck to that? The world would have been a better place.
How many Spotify streams does Beethoven have?
He never had a hit on the top 40 though. Never.
Never me.
Never sampled
Never
it to
me.
a song, Ern?
Imagine
Never,
if you want
never,
to he failed at every musician, every instrument he picked up in his whole life. So he finally found the only one instrument he could actually perfect: whistling. It sounds like a comedy. He did all, and then it says which he did often.
Stop. There's the third Saturday Night Live skit we got. So we got the
Starring-
beats. We got the whistling Hitler, and what was the other one we had?
Hitler. It sounds like a 4th of July firecracker.
The hop singing.
I'll take a dozen whistles.
The Hoff singing on the wall. We didn't think of. That's another one. Hoff
Give me a
singing on the
dozen.
Berlin Wall.
Give me a dozen whistling Hitlers, please.
We'll have a gross
Ugh.
whistling Hitlers, please.
with the beat.
Will Ferrell plays the whistler, right?
All right, this was a good one. I like the debate. My wife came down and she wrote a good one. Johnny Walker. That's a good one. So I don't think that counts.
Listen, if anyone of the viewers can find a picture in history, World War II film of Hitler
Whistling.
with his lips, I want to see it. Send it in because
Anyone, you know what? Oh, we'll open up 2 contests right now. Anyone who sends us a picture, I was going to say video, picture of Hitler whistling, or or the video of the
He's gonna be
Hoff,
like Madonna. He's gonna be like this in the video.
or a video of the Hoff singing on the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
We have to have that though. That's
You will be
Tommy
the
has
next.
that one.
The first person who send us one of those will be a guest on Top 5 in an upcoming episode, and we'll discuss the category together. Anyone opposed to that?
What am I going to say?
Billy will be 114 pounds by then. Sucking those cheeks, Billy.
What's my cousin's name? Oh boy, we haven't seen in a while.
Huh?
Who?
Uncle something? Uncle Steve?
Oh, Uncle Steve, right? Is it Uncle Steve?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uncle Steve.
he sends. Oh, the emails fly every week. He still loves us. He's a big Ernie fan. Always
not?
laughs at the Gravely Doctor. Gravely.
No, I gotta apologize to him because he was right. And I wanted to ask you one thing before we leave, because I always forget to ask you.
Yes.
Carmine Appice was sent to the studio to correct timing of Tommy Aldridge's drums on the album. So Tommy
Which
Aldridge
album?
did
On Blizzard?
Bark at the Moon.
Bark at the Moon.
So Tommy Aldridge did play drums, but how do you correct the timing on drums?
I mean, it must have been in the mix. He must have helped mix them. I'm assuming. I don't know. I mean, nowadays you can correct it. You could actually, everything is digital. So when you do a drum track, you could physically move a bass drum over.
Because he was right. Uncle Steve was right. It was Tommy Aldridge on the album, but they had said that. So they was confused the shit out of me when they sent him in last minute to correct the timing.
I would assume he probably did some overdubs, maybe.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, can I say my Bark at the Moon joke?
Oh no. Go.
What song is about Jakey Lee's paycheck?
What?
Now you see it. Now you don't.
It's terrible. He's still on the outs with them, right?
Oh, yeah, there was a story.
I Ozzy actually asked him to come back on this last album.
No, I heard, and I heard it on an interview with him that he asked that all he wanted was his name. He didn't want the money. He just wanted his name on the writing credits.
The credits,
on the
right.
Writing
thing,
credits in Bark at the Moon.
and they still wouldn't do it. He wasn't asking for money, and Sharon said no.
Right, but his writing credits are on Ultimate Sin.
Yeah.
Ozzy's a money hungry animal. It's disgusting.
Not
No matter
him.
how no musician could ever be like that's disgusting.
You know what's bad, Joey?
What?
Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake from Diary of Madman or Blizzard of Oz Diary of Madman, so they wouldn't get royalties anymore. They went back, took their tracks off, and re-recorded. So the new album sold today. It's not Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake playing on it. You have to have the original recordings of the Blizzard of Oz Diary of Madman, so they can't say that they were on the album anymore. Now you tell me that's not evil. That's
just
Sharon.
Ozzy's disgusting. That's what we're gonna do. All future episodes of Top 5. We're gonna replace Billy's voice with Mikey D.
Yeah.
That's what it'll sound like.
And your mother is easy.
Running for office, mayor of Marine Park.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what
All
I'm
right.
saying?
So everyone, send your emails to top5withjoeycassata@gmail.com. Send your questions, your comments. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think of this topic. Send us your top 5 entertainers of all time, most famous entertainers of all time. Let us know if you have a topic that you want to hear us cover. Guys, any last words?
If anybody's got good weight loss tips, just email them as well. Always looking for a new one.
You can get Billy's weight loss products, Heartbreak and what is it?
Heartbreak and Hopelessness.
Heartbreak and Hopelessness on Amazon.com right now. Just type in Top 5 with Joey Cassata, Big Head Billy, Heartbreak and Hopelessness, weight loss now.
I'm gonna send Billy so many Alice Cooper songs.
Oh,
I can't wait to get off this right now.
Billy, just send them clips from Mission Impossible 35.
that's it. They're gonna send them all out. The new one's coming out, I think, next year.
No, he's in it again?
I think he filmed 2 back to back because there's a 2-part series to this. He's in both of them.
The last one to be called Acting Impossible. So that's gonna be
Listen, when
the
it
final.
comes out, we're all going together to watch it. All right.
All right,
We'll
yes.
go to the movies. We'll watch it.
If you pay and you let us go to Norris first, the time went on, then I'll go.
I'm
No,
in.
they had Tom. We'll go to a theater that has the drinks. We don't need to go there first.
No,
They-
I need to get bombed to get me there.
Monkey Shoulders
That's it.
and Mission
That's half
Impossible.
about it.
Monkey,
Yeah, my shoulder.
Monkey Impossible.
I got monkey shoulder.
All right, get out of here, everyone. We'll
All
see you
right.
next time.